Nancy, you ready?
Dun, 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 dun. It's Crypto Night in Canada. Yay! Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. A-okay.
I bring such energy, and you guys.
Wickety doodle.
Good. It's good.
We're doing amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? Candace, you have to at least go, yay, with me.
It's Blunkadonkulous, absolutely fantastical.
There you go.
Nice.
Are you under 5,000 pounds of snow?
No, I've got a roof over my head instead.
Well, but did you guys get a good dumping there in Ottawa?
Okay, that's Ken's shtick. That's Ken's shtick.
Yeah, that's what are you guys doing here? Come on now.
No, we got a half decent amount. It's like I have to shovel out the recyclables to take them out.
Oh, well, if the recycling truck can even get down your street, there's a whole other ball of wax. Ken, are you under a whole pile of snow?
No, not whatsoever. We got like nothing. It was that day that Toronto and everything got dumped on. It tried to snow here, but it was like too cold.
Oh.
So, and we have the lake protecting us as well. So we got like nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'm along the same lake as you up here at the cottage, and there's absolutely nothing here. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing.
Gotta love lakes and rivers.
We know Ryan's in Shangri-La and Calgary. They're practically in shorts and t-shirts out there.
Today and yesterday was pretty cold. I think today was -12. But it looks like we've got maybe one more cold snap in February, but it's plus temperatures pretty much from here on out. So we're good to go.
No, it's crazy. So I see there's a whole pile of people in the chat. So Kevin Hanna says he's got 2.5 feet of snow in Brockville. Genuine's got no snow in beautiful Windsor. Mark Sauve and Nikki, I think they're in Ottawa too. So they're in the same boat as you, Candace. Journey, I don't know. He's in the GTA area, so he probably got walloped with snow. Gary's probably got walloped with snow. Not sure who else is in the chat here, but let us know. Did you, Cindy and Sandra here, and Chris and Dave D. This is great. KC96. Welcome, everybody. Just it'd be fun to know where you are and if you got any snow. Oh, Gary got 26 centimeters in Halton, and CISO99 got 8 inches in London. My goodness. Snowmageddon. Usually, don't you find that usually the weather people are never right? Never. And yet in this case, they happen to be, somewhat right. So
they say that particular region is due once every 10 years. That's what they say.
Well, it's true. It's true. Right. And listen, the people that live in Oakville and Burlington, they usually pay more money to not have snow, quite frankly. So this is just every now and again, they have to get 10 centimeters or more. It just is what it is. And, oh, yeah, the Canadian Bitcoiners said they put their Bitcoin miners outside and use the heat to melt the snow. Good plan. Good plan. And we got Ken Wheeldon in the house. Hi, Ken. And Cindy E got a lot in Winnipeg, too. Okay, so lots of news going on. And before we jump into crypto, I thought maybe we could do a little bit of an inflation and news update if everybody's feeling like they want to chat about that. How's everybody want to jump right into the inflation conversation?
Go for it. Let's pump it up. Go.
Yeah, that's a conversation that keeps on growing.
Well, couple of new updates. I got this. I got this whole thing. Let me see. I should have shared my screen. Maybe I'll try to do that. Share screen. I know. Tim's like scared. Tim's scared. All right. So can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So port backlog at record high in Southern California. So there's the Southern California shipyards. And so big piece down here is, according to a report by the USDA Agricultural Marketing Services, as of Friday, there are a record 105 ships reported to be awaiting berthing spots for unloading in Los Angeles and Long Beach ports. They're outside of all major U.S. ports. There's a total of 146 ships waiting. In late August, just to put this in perspective, there were 44 ships waiting to enter the 2 Southern California ports, which was the highest number since the beginning of the pandemic. So, just, I wanted to mention this because this is indicative of what's kind of going on and why the inflation numbers are so high. So, one of the things, I've got a report today that came in, and this was Canadian firms see higher inflation. The central bank's quarterly survey of executives paints a picture of an economy pressed up against its limits. Over 2/3 of the respondents expect annual consumer price gains to surpass 3% over the next 2 years. Almost 80% say worker shortages are intensifying and their companies would have at least some difficulty meeting unexpected demand. So, and then a separate survey of consumers' expectations showed Canadian households also expect inflation to stay above 3% over the next couple of years. Asking what they expect the rate of inflation to be in the future, Canadians saw it at 4.89% in the next year and 4.12% in the 2 years, and then 3.5% in 5 years. So, it's really a thing. Like, this inflation stuff is nothing short of problematic, and we just need to be aware of it. It's just data points. We're not going to get fearful. And Genuine, this is my next topic to bring up, is the truck drivers' vax mandate will make it worse.
Can I just go back to something there, Nance?
Yep.
I just need to go back to something there. Hang on. Damn. 1 second. It is something I came across, and it was on Twitter, and it was from Blockworks, and it gave just gave an idea of our purchasing. Sorry, I guess this is US based, but it's the purchasing power of $100 over time. And in 1950, $100 was worth $100. In 1960, $100 was worth $80.41. 1970, it was worth $61.34. This is purchasing power on $100. 1980, $28.88. 1990, $18.21. 2000, $13.82. 2010, $10.91. And in 2021, $8.70.
That's wild.
That's sickening.
That is sickening.
Which is why we're all into crypto, because we're looking at it as a hedge against inflation, which is why we talk about this on a regular basis. We talk about inflation and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's really problematic, and Genuine is really right on the mark on this. So I got a report today about truckers are going to go on a protest. It's not a strike. The report I got said that it was going on strike. Let me just see. Yeah. So this was on the Hal Turner radio show. Canadian truckers to go full strike January 23rd. Store shelves will be empty until vax mandates are gone. Now, so I did some digging. I talked to the guy that's in charge of transportation for my company, and he said it's not a strike, it's a protest. And we are highly anticipating supply shortages over this. Now, primarily, this is the stuff coming back and forth from the US. So the things that you should be thinking about is produce is big, and produce doesn't last long. It's not like you can buy produce. Produce is grown primarily in Southern California at certain times of the year, and Arizona. Right now it's being grown in Arizona, and they'll start migrating that back over to Southern California shortly. Either way, most of that stuff has to come up. So it's picked and packed in the fields. It's put on trucks, and then depending on how the trucks drive up here, our guys, they have two drivers in each truck, so they can keep going continuously. Because what they want to do is they want to shorten the length of time from the moment it's picked in the fields till it's in the shelves in the stores here. So places that are in the West you guys are a faster transportation time because you're just coming straight up north. The stuff that on the east side, they've got to come up through the country and then over to us. So produce doesn't last very long. Like you can't pick it and think, oh, well, we're going to have those tomatoes indefinitely. So that's one of the things that comes across the border on a regular basis. So we just need to be mindful that you're going to start to see. And so people, when they read things like this, they're going to run to the grocery store and they're going to try to stock up, and the product is going to get scarce. And again, this goes back to that law of supply and demand. When the product gets scarce, what you can get for, they'll start charging more for. It's just strictly the law of supply and demand. So I think we're going to see a run on frozen produce because you're not going to be able to get the fresh and canned stuff. Produce is my biggest concern. That if I was to say there was one thing, because we have stuff that's up here and we can stuff that gets up here, but it's quickly, even dare I say, toilet paper is primarily manufactured in the South. And so you're going to see a freaking run on bloody well toilet paper again, because everybody gets scared about that.
Well, Ken, you know the reason why toilet paper was so scarce right at the beginning of the pandemic, right?
There was one of the cargo ships. It was a shortage, was it not? It got stuck.
No. It's because every time someone coughed, someone shit themselves. So it was like,
Oh my God, Tim Danter, that's terrible.
No, here's some of the stuff. Here's some of the stuff I don't understand about this transportation is that our lovely government said, look, we're going to give all these unvaccinated drivers a buy to keep the supply chain going. Mm-hmm. Now, when push is coming to shove, they're switching gears. Why? What changed with the infectiousness or whatever it is in the time that they said unvaccinated can take our goods and services or goods, and stuff across borders between then and now? What has changed? Nothing.
It's really weird to see the direction that this particular country is going as opposed to the United States or everywhere else in the world, just especially with things. For instance, Boris Johnson of the UK said today they are cutting all restrictions, no more vaccine passports. Scotland Parliament already did that. It's happening in speckled countries across Europe and probably will bleed over. And it just freaks me out that we're mimicking Australia versus mimicking, it seems like, the rest of the world. And with almost half of the Truckers Association of America unvaccinated, you're not going to convince these people to get vaccinated. So Justin Trudeau has lost this battle.
Yep.
And it's already lost. And this is almost like posturing. So it's weakness trying to save face. That's all this is, because even today, Joe Biden gave... I wasn't feeling great today to do a market close live stream, but I was still watching the market. Joe Biden gave about an hour and a half, 2 hour speech today. And even he refuses to force the third booster as mandate. Even he refuses to do it. He is leaving it up to private business. Canada is going in the complete opposite direction of literally the rest of the world right now. It's going to cost people their lives, obviously. It'll cost them their jobs, small business owners. The only good thing is that whatever restaurants are still alive might actually have people ordering from them because the grocery stores have no food. But that's not a solution to the problem. So it's just pathetic what this country is doing right now.
So let me ask you the question then: if this happens and the restrictions start to come in and the cross-border products going back and forth starts to get a little bit pinched and squeezed and stuff, which country is in a better position, Canada or the U.S.? I'm thinking the U.S. because they've got everything. They've got the different climates to grow things. They got everything. So who's left out in the cold? Who's left out in the cold again? No pun intended.
Yeah, but Canada has a lot of greenhouses. We have a lot of greenhouses in southern Ontario.
Let's forget about the green. Let's think about the only moneymaker Canada has outside of lumber. That's oil, and we want to shut down oil in the next 5 years. So the only province that's paying all the other provinces to survive through equalization, we're going to stifle them and cut their income off at the knees, right in the middle of shutting down business worldwide. It's just, of course, the United States is in a better place. Friggin' Taiwan is probably in a better place than Canada right now, with considering their own limitations or lack thereof. We can go down this rabbit hole, but the truckers, Vax or no vax, I don't think that's any of our business for any of the viewers or ourselves. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But when half of the vaccinated or half of the truckers are unvaccinated, who do you think you are? There's 32 million people here. There's 350 million in the United States. The truckers don't need us.
They don't need us.
So we lost, done. 32 million people now up to like, it's just nothing here makes, we're just going backwards, one step forward and 50 miles back every day with this guy. Yep. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's absolute insanity. And so I only just tell people that our company, which is very large logistics supplier, all that stuff, we're concerned about supply shortage over this one. So nothing we can do if they won't bring it across, nothing we can do about it. We're not going to force people. The truck drivers, there's already a truck shortage. There's already a truck driver shortage.
I know. And now you're going to tell half of them they can't go to work. Do you think they actually give a shit? You know what I mean? Like they're going to find routes.
They will. They'll be snapped up like this, and then we're going to lose them from coming up here across the border.
Why would they?
Is the dumbest decision that they could have ever made.
Well, it's just pure weakness because they say basically, oh, okay, everything's good. You can cross the borders. And then the very next day, oh no, that made us look weak. Change back. We'll go back a third time. Okay, no, you can't cross borders. And now for the first time ever, I swear to gosh, in my entire life, I saw a Canada preparedness advertisement on Twitter. And it's like, I've just never seen this stuff before. They're preparing us for a manufactured crisis now because Omicron's not killing people. So this is just a manufactured crisis. So we're going to have, as usual, the cure being worse than the disease here. And as usual, it'll hurt more people than it helps. And Bitcoiner nailed it. It's starting to look third world when you have the robberies in the United States off the train checkpoints. We're going to start seeing insanity here in Canada and the bigger cities.
Joe Rogan had video of that. I seen that. That was sad seeing all that trash on the ground from it.
Well, because it's because inflation's hitting the U.S. too. It's not just a Canadian. Inflation is not just for Canada. It's everywhere. And so I think they called it a long time ago. They talked about if people can't feed themselves, that's the basic life. They need water and they need food. That's go to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And anyways, it's insane. And you start letting this kind of inflation run wild, we're gonna rebel, and we're gonna have crime. This is what the next phase is. I was barking at inflation for an entire year, and I said it's coming, and crime is coming right in behind it. So there you go.
I just want to mention this because I find the airlines have been outside of the restaurant industry, but the airlines have been hit so hard, obviously, that it's pretty when they have something to say, it's pretty vocal. WestJet tends to be more vocal than Air Canada because WestJet's harder to acquire, privately owned by Onyx, obviously. So WestJet is starting. If you guys are paying attention to at least the news regarding Air Canada, the news regarding their statements, and WestJet, for instance, the language is changing. For instance, the very last statement released by WestJet made not one mention of the cooties virus, and instead blamed layoffs and shutdowns and flight delays entirely on government policy. Quote, government policy. They're abandoning the narrative the government wants them to take on. And so it's really nice to see when you have private business starting to see what it's like in America, starting to see what it's like in the UK and in Europe and in Mexico and everywhere else. And the private business now changing their language up a little bit is kind of unique. It's not blatant and there's no message obviously intended, but there is a different message with respect to their cause. I love when WestJet stands up like that. It looked like you were about to say something, Candace.
No.
Oh. What I would, to jump off from your point, Ryan, is with big business jumping off and standing up. I was just on Facebook before I got on here, and I saw one of my old restaurants that I used to service down in the Port Dover, like Norfolk County area, just outside of it's more closer for those of you that aren't from Ontario. It's near the Hamilton area, but it's a smaller restaurant. The owner posted and said he doesn't, at this point in time, he does not care what the government's regulation is. As of January 26th, he is opening his door for in restaurant dining. He said, I followed absolutely everything that they have told us to do. I've got all my vaccines. I've done all the things for sanitizing and making sure I'm checking all their boxes. He goes, he said him and his wife and I think one of his kids, if I remember correctly, run the restaurant. He's got no staff because they've all had to go and do something else, because who can live with this kind of up and down? And he said, from this day forward, on January 26th, I will be opening my doors for service Wednesday to Sunday, and I'm not shutting my doors again.
It'll be another Adam's barbecue situation where he'll be arrested, and all of his legal fees will be covered by, I'm not going to mention the media source, but they're starting to be noticed by more people because they're paying everyone's tickets and stuff, right? That's what's going to happen to him. He'll be arrested, but you need more people getting arrested in Ontario, because quite honestly, Alberta had everybody getting arrested for like a week, and then the cops gave up. Like the big news, actually, I don't even want to get into it, but I'm curious what you guys kind of think on this guy and his defiance, because I don't necessarily, I'm more supportive of his defiance than maybe some of the other people watching or listening. Again, I don't care if you have the vaccine or not. It's none of my business to know what you've done. So that whole thing aside, but
Ryan, I agree with you. I say to you, the criteria for someone to get into a restaurant is you must show your vaccination certificate. What damage are they doing? Even if they go to 50%, what damage are they doing? Because they're letting people who are vaccinated in. You could be vaccinated. You could do a rapid test, and the next day you could be a host and not even know it. So what is the big deal?
Dude, look, even when, this is the whole shtick for me, is why I completely abandoned the idea of what they're doing with restaurants. The moment, like, when the CDC says it, sure, maybe more people listen than when Canada says it. But how many times do people have to be told that the vaccine doesn't stop the spread? So why are we like, why it'll help you if you have COVID? Great. But why, like, there's a restaurant in Alberta that was shut down because all they asked for people who would walk in was a picture of a dog. And I'm dead serious. It's called the Granary in Red Deer. All they were asking for was pictures of dogs. They would not scan your passport. And people would bring a picture of a dog. And then the argument was the vaccine doesn't prevent the spread. So the dog's about as effective as the passport at the end of the day. Now, outside of contact tracing, right? So is this like a data mining concern or is a safety concern? I just don't understand. To me, I'm with the restaurateur. It doesn't make sense. And now if we do stick to 50% capacity just to have them feel like they're won on the government side, fine. But I mean, I don't know what kind of country are we living in where government snaps its fingers and shuts down private successful business. Like, I don't understand that. This is not Canada. This is not free enterprise. This is brutal.
Well, and this guy, I have to tell you, he's got the cutest little place. It's in a little itty bitty town. So, and you've got every province has these little tiny towns that you drive through. You barely blink your eyes. You drive through them and you're on the other side. So he's got an old house that he's converted, and it's tiny. Like it's a small town little restaurant. Like, I don't even know I'm thinking if he's a 50-seat restaurant, that would be big. You know what I mean? And so I think he lives upstairs. And I think with his wife and I think his one son that works with him. And this is their livelihood.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say something? Town. Can I say something? From a very fantastic friend of the community here. I'm just going to read out 3 comments from our fan favorite here, Jill. She said, it's highly transmissible. And the problem is that people who don't get vaccinated can still pick it up from people who do go to the restaurant who are vaccinated but don't show symptoms. Yeah, everybody can pick it up from everybody. So vaccination status doesn't necessarily apply. But those dumb people who are unvaccinated end up clogging up emergency rooms. I would say in every province but Ontario, that's true. And then the Hamilton newspaper released that news just a couple of weeks ago about the per capita numbers in Ontario. But I do agree with you 100%, Jill, that most of the time it's unvaccinated people. And then she says, yes, it helps reduce symptoms so that you don't end up hospitalized. Totally agree. That's why it's not to me literally about the vaccine whatsoever. She made perfect points there. I think it's just for one, it's nobody's business to know if you're unvaccinated or vaccinated. That's just nobody's business to know, whether it's a restaurant or otherwise. But I think the problem is you've got Pfizer CEO going on CNBC on one of my live streams saying that the first 2 vaccines are virtually useless. So, but they want me to get the first 2 vaccines. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Whatever. Let's limit it to a booster. I can't get the booster though without the first 2 vaccines. What's the point of the first 2 though? Now we got the 4th booster. So when it comes time for the 4th booster, do I got to go all the way back to square one and get 4 different shots over 4 months that we know don't work? So it just, we're sitting here developing an Omicron vaccine for March and nobody's dying and it's going to be over with. Like I'm going to take the Delta fucking vaccine. Sorry. I'm going to end up taking the Delta vaccine in 2025 at this rate. You know what I mean? It doesn't, to me, it's not as much about the vaccine. It's about the rollout and the way that they're trying to implement this through one, just a very illogical way of doing it. It's just, nothing makes sense really right now. So I was seeing flip-flopping in policy every second day.
Right.
Well, what's the purpose of the pill?
That's if you're sick, right? If you've already tested positive, you take the pill.
So doesn't that help?
Because if you test positive,
admissions? Here, take this pill.
But if you test positive, they can't give you the shots. They can give you this pill instead.
Well, okay. So let's. I know we're gonna. This is such a contentious thing, and so we'll just.
Everyone in this community is loved.
Everybody, and all opinions are welcome. And this is the thing that I've always said. Listen, I'm very opinionated. No problem expressing my opinion. But I'm also open to hearing everybody else's so that I can either add to my narrative or take my narrative away.
Well,
so
I got a bit of a story for you, Nancy. I don't know if I shared it with Ryan or with Tim. There's a restaurant down here in Sarnia called the Leaky Tank, and they showed video inside the restaurant where they're open, everybody's sitting down. They had the bylaw officers come in, and they were saying that they were breaking the provincial laws and rules of COVID, right, with having the restaurant open with people in there. However, the diner is located on Amnajan First Nations territories. So the owner's like, I am abiding by the provincial guidelines. However, you're on sovereign ground. Get the hell out of my restaurant.
That happens here in Alberta.
They don't have any jurisdiction on any of the native land here.
They should know this. They should know this.
You think they're dumb? They know. They know what they can and can't do. Like
they just bully, right? They're trying to bully people.
That's all it is. Look, and the weird thing is,
and they have fantastic food there too. That's a plug for them. The Leaky Tank in Sarnia. Really good food.
That's a plug for the Leaky Tank.
The Leaky Tank, man.
That's a plug for the Leaky Tank. There you go. Well, look who we've got. Look who's in the house.
What's up,
Mr. Tim Perry's in the house. How are you?
Good. How's everybody?
Good. You're just in time for our next conversation, which is, are we in a crypto winter? Which is what our thumbnail was. Are we in a crypto winter? And if we are, isn't this actually the time when most of the money is made if you can be smart about what you're doing?
I don't know. I mean, obviously I've been telling, I don't know the last time I've been on the show or what I've been saying, but me and Rye had been mentioning this whole, this clear head and shoulders pattern that I know, look at what happened now. We've been in this I was in my buddy's trading thing the other day, and we've been in a 71-day basically straight downtrend, like just paying for Bitcoin,
Well,
and I personally,
I was going to say the market has been down since the end of October. It's literally the exact same thing. Since the end of October, we've seen everything die off a cliff. I'm curious, what do you think about all these people who are literally, I see it on Twitter, and it just, every time I see this on Twitter, it's a rule. I do not follow them. And if I'm following them, I stop following them. People are like, oh, it'll be a lonely ride all the way up to 100,000 in the next 6 months. Like, assuming that we're going to have this influx of billions and hundreds of billions of dollars of new cash. I think we're in a definite flat plateau. Like, where do you think the money's coming from to get us out of this? Or are we just plateaued?
Well, I've been saying forever, Bitcoin looks like shit. Nothing's changed. It looks even more like garbage even than the last week. You know, I don't know where everybody thinks that this is going to go. The only way, and I still, you know, I messaged Tim or talked to him the other day, and we're still getting toyed. Like Bitcoin dominance just broke 39.5% the other day, like on Real Trading View and stuff. And now we're already back encroaching. Like we can't. We're at resistance, right? So Bitcoin dominance could just fly back up and screw alts. But the only way we make money soon, in my opinion, is if all the money, it's just going to be musical chairs. That's the only way we're going to make money. And if you're in alts, you'll most likely get some payday soon. I don't know, though. I could be wrong. Obviously, this isn't financial advice, but I think money's going to shift to alts. Maybe you get like a Bitcoin run at the end of the year if we're lucky, and then that might be the top for like till 2024. I don't know. Like, I personally think like I've started moving out. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, man. I was just going to take care of my dog for a sec, but I was just right before I do, just before I go, and I'll be back in 1 second. But so all of this money that's flooding in, and you can, if you pay for a subscription for Alexa website rankings, you can get more detailed analytics. I know that Alexa rankings, for instance, on OpenSea, you can see the cash inflow into their website. Obviously skyrocketing, right? Google Trends will show us the exact same thing. Now, I believe that to be the ultimate bubble pop for most of these NFTs. So I'm just wondering if, I'm not saying all the NFTs, I just say, for me, I think a good chunk, like we've seen CryptoPunks drop 50% from all-time highs. Like when we see this money kind of evaporate, that to me freaks me out even more for Bitcoin, because then there's going to be nothing to recycle back into it. Because we're going through like the biggest OMI pump ever, and it's only going to get crazier. I mean, I'm going to buy some OMI. I'm going to make some money, but I am going to sell it off real damn quick when it pops. But for me, I'm just wondering if like this NFT bubble is going to literally erase cash. It's my only worry.
Well, it depends on what NFTs we're talking about. I mean, VV and OMI is definitely starting to look pretty solid. So not that I ever, you know, I always spoke highly of it. It's not my forte, and I'll stay out of it. I'll leave that to Neil and stuff. But just a lot of the buddies that I've been, you know, coordinating with, we even think like, you know, all the majors are going to get hit. We think if this is a run, remember, I've been wrong pretty much for a year now, so don't take my advice, but I'm just throwing out my idea. I think mostly like micro caps, and I think memes will actually start running.
They are
kind of lead the
a lot of pumps, man. Nay bought,
Kitty's done 80%.
Yeah, well, Nate
Kitty's done 80% in the last couple of days.
Nate bought Thorium at 1 cent, right? And it pumped to 55 cents the other day, and then the next day it was back down to 1 cent. So they're going through the small caps, doing pump and dump, trying to make money as
well. Yeah, you'll see pump and dumps on some. I think Kitty did about 100 and something percent the other day, retraced back, and then has already bounced just today. Actually, on a lot of news is coming out on Kitty. I'm really impressed by them. But even like Root and DeFi right now, like Root just did a 2.5x in the last few days. So Root's starting to take off. And I guess finally, of course, you know, this is the law, Murphy's Law. I like mostly sell out of Root, right? Thinking they keep lying about, you know, they keep not making it. So get into Kitty, and obviously Kitty's dropped. It's finally starting to go. And now Root's done a 2x. Had I just held my Root and DeFi at the thing, I'd be flying right now. 10 times higher. I could have bought in. Owned all the Kitty that I have right now, and have tons more of Root and DeFi. That's just the rule, though. I mean, they literally missed the mark for a year. I rode with Root, waiting for them to do mainnet, and there was next month. I finally said, that's it. I can't keep watching my money sit here with guys who don't know how to tell the truth or let us know whenever. And now they're like 4 days away from mainnet, and now the thing's pumping like crazy. Everyone's going, this is going to be the biggest thing. Cross-chain bridging is the future. I'm like, well, at least I wasn't wrong, but so far, we'll see. But
yeah, and I think Gary got he lost out with the ADA too. So
yeah, I was just gonna say there, Tim, you pulled a Gary.
Yeah.
That's a new.
I mean, if I'm being dead honest, I'm actually like, I don't like the way like it looks on paper right now, but I'm far more bullish sitting in Kitty long run than I would be even in Root. Cause like just the articles that are coming out from like really upscale, you know, like crypto sites and stuff like this, the writing's on the wall, and now their game's about to be not just like a racing game. They're expanding it. They've got a huge law firm that deals with like LeBron James and stuff, and they're basically looking into totally like trademarking Kitty and doing all these wild things with it. And you know, you see all these reviews and people are like, oh, I'd play this game with my family and stuff. So it's also it's going to be free play to earn. You don't just have to pay to play, which is like most of the crypto games right now. So they've got different models. I think, you know, like to me, meme coins, you know, and what I finally learned, you know, obviously we should talk to our oracle here for better, but he would agree, I'm sure. I think the meme coin is teaching, at least taught me in crypto or anything for that matter, to not take things so seriously. You know, it's just fun. And if you can have fun and make money, like I actually get excited being in the crypto, you know, in the Kitty Telegram and talking to people sometimes. They're like, it just makes it more fun. Whereas there's nothing against Root. It's going to totally change the game with cross swapping and all this stuff. But it's boring as hell.
Yeah,
VV's fun. Like I have fun with Journey.
Yeah. Well, meme coins are a good way to make a quick buck, unless they have a project behind them, such as Kitty. Then that changes the playing field for that particular token, right? So I told other people that, you know, if Kitty pulls off what they're going to pull off, that's a really good investment. It honestly is.
Right.
You know?
And it is ambitious. And that's why you got to bank. That's why I've always said, you know, when we've talked about in one of Tim and Nancy's shows or taped ones that we've done, like when you're reviewing a coin, there's so many amazing, ambitious ideas in crypto. But if you don't have the team that executes it off, then what's the point? So you've got these like all female led team. I just like throw it out there because it's refreshing to see in crypto with a male dominated sphere kind of thing. But like these girls, one's like a computational physicist and she's just knocking it out the park, you know, like especially like in the Telegram, she's very transparent. She's honest, you know, they've done something like $4.5 million in buybacks on the coin. So it's like, why would they rug after buying 4.5 million back? Like there's just nothing, you know, so still you shouldn't trust anything. But at the same time, I've been DCAing at all these small prices. So now as we're starting to go back up, in the end, it won't matter about Root and DeFi. You know, it's a bit of kick in the kahunas, but long run, I think I won't care.
Can we answer a question for our friend Ken Wielden? He said, with inflation going up and some markets dropping, Bitcoin is falling. So is it really an inflation hedge? Maybe it is. And the drop has been all speculation, but it's not recovering. So I want to just talk about that for a minute, because I know you think it looks like garbage, Tim Perry, but I still have quite a bit of money sitting in Bitcoin. It's just, it feels safer there to me, and I'm willing to let it ride. It's not my money that I think I'm going to make my big fortune with, but it's where I feel like over the long haul, it's going to be safe sitting there.
It's definitely not a hedge against inflation. It hasn't hedged against.
I'm not.
Sorry. Oh, I was just going to say, like, because I'm on the Mark Cuban side of things, like this is a speculative asset class at best. A store of value, not quite. Yeah. Store of values don't lose their value overnight. It's as simple as that. So it's not a store of value yet, okay? Because the volatility gap is too deep. As for a hedge against inflation, well, we have the highest inflation in 30 years, and it's not hedging shit. So what's the hedge against inflation? It's the backbone that we've been doing for the past 2,500 years. Like it's at the end of the day, right? Bitcoin is definitely trying to be a hedge against inflation. It is trying to be a store of value. It's definitely not either one of those yet. But there's nothing wrong with holding it because you think it will be a very good store of value and a hedge against inflation. But like that's like saying a 7-year-old kid in the swimming pool is an Olympic athlete. Maybe one day, but not yet, right? Like it just hasn't proven itself yet. That's kind of where I'm at. I like that comment because I hear that a lot from Maxis.
Yeah. And Genuine says Bitcoin will run up eventually.
When I say,
go ahead.
Yeah. Like when I say it looks like garbage, I'm saying right now, like macro levels. I'm not saying that long term it's not going to start going back up to all time highs and do something. Maybe not this year. I don't know. I don't like to look long term anymore because I lost a lot of my money and couldn't At least my perspective, and everyone's got different things. I don't know if Kyle's watching, but me and Kyle duel on this because Kyle's all about this long-term thing. I'm like, Kyle, I'm either gone out of the market or changed by then. You know, if you remain just, it's good long-term, you could watch your money vaporize pretty fast. I prefer to, you know, and I don't think it's going to vaporize with Bitcoin by any means, but it's just,
good point.
you know, number one, you also,
sorry, Tim.
Sorry, you could just sit, you could sit and tether or something though, right? Like you don't have to. You could be not on the fiat side, but still in crypto and not in the volatile side either, and still feel like you're keeping your money. Because I'll be dead honest with you, I'd rather just keep my money. Yeah, or USDC, any stable coin, but I'd rather stay in a stable coin than come back over to, you know, all that. Especially like I just got a notice today from my credit card company saying that they can like. It's all these new rules about my card. We can, you know, not, we can cancel a transaction or do anything we feel like kind of thing. And it's like, it just feels like the walls are just coming in on everything. And I know I got in, so I'm sure you guys already touched on it, but like between governments and corporations, it's like, stop telling me what I can do with my thoughts, my money, my everything, right? And that's why Bitcoin to me will always still be the biggest FU. And I don't think it's going anywhere. But as Rye says, it hasn't, you know, ascertain that status that deserves that yet. And I think if a market hits, the first thing that's going to get hit first will be Bitcoin and crypto because it isn't a risky asset still. But in my opinion, if the world goes into super hyperinflation, people will eventually turn their eyes over to Bitcoin, and then you'll start seeing it rise probably sooner than other markets would. But it would get hit first and hardest. That's just my opinion.
Agreed.
Very solid.
Love it. Well, before we just jump into another subject, Candace, do you want to give us a quick update on the Metaverse?
Yeah, we could definitely do that. Okay, everybody. So this week there's been not a lot of movement in the cryptocurrencies. I think we only have one new coin, but a lot of coins have switched their positions. So if we start off with our number 10 coin, it's my neighbor Alice. This coin, I think it's a good project. I like the whole farm-based idea of it. They've been sliding a bit. Now they are going to be going live in the spring. I think as we get closer to that, we're going to see a lot more interest in this game as well as in the coin itself. So still, I think a solid coin at number 10. When we move up to number 9, we have Phantasma, so Sol. They have slipped back from number 6. Once again, it is another really good game, but you know they've fallen a little bit. So we move up to 8. We got the Sandbox. The Sandbox constantly on our list. They fell a whole 6% this week. Another good game, but they were the only one that still held the exact same spot that they held last week on the entire list, which is kind of interesting. At number 7 is Mana. They were at number 9 last week, so they have started to move up. Mana's been picking up a little bit, so it was only down 1.7% on their ROI for the whole week. So they're definitely a solid buy, and I think that you'll probably see them continue to move. I think overall in the Metaverse, there's been a lot of positive things happening, and when we get to the stock side, you'll definitely see what I'm talking about. Now, number 6, this is our new one for the week. And I know there's been a few people going, Wilder World, Wilder World. Well, Wilder World has finally made it. So this here is an immersive 5D metaverse. They used Unreal Engine 5, which is pretty cool. What's really interesting about them is they're set in a city called Miami. It's basically based off of Miami. You can buy your land there. You can buy condos. There's a lot of ways to make money there. There's also a big racing game within it called Wilder Wheels, and you have NFT vehicles. And the beautiful thing about this one is you can still make money if you don't actually own a vehicle because you can rent one for like a couple of days and use that to race with. In addition to that, they've got all kinds of interactive in-world creations. They've got leading artists in the NFT space. So they're really looking to make a shake. Last week, their return on investment was only negative 1.7. There was a lot of negatives this week on both sides. Number 5 was our number 1 from last week. Rainicorn fell 13.2%. Of course, anything with rainbows and unicorns in it, to me, definitely has a special spot in my heart. When we move up into number 4, we have Jewel. They were number 2 last week. They have fallen 2 spots. They were down a whopping 16.8% in their ROI. And that's sad, but it's definitely got I think it still have a lot of potential. And there's a lot of great things you can do within it. When we move into 3, we got Victoria VR. This is the one that's really, really realistic. So that has me very intrigued for sure. Now, they had a positive ROI last week. They went up 4.6%. Hence, they moved from 5 to 3. In at number 2, we have Engine. Engine is that they're like that train that says, I think I can, and keeps on doing it. Now, Engine was down 1.1%. But they've been steady. They have just been very, very steady. I don't think they've fallen out of the list once. So they're definitely a coin to watch. And also their sister coin, EFI, I can see them starting to move up. They are starting to get a little bit more of a sort of a buzz about them. So I would definitely be looking at both ENJ and EFI. But back to number 1. Is Magic. Magic climbed back up from 3 to 1. So out of the last 4 weeks, they've held number 1 3 weeks in a row, not 3 weeks in a row, but they've held it 3 out of 4. So that's pretty good. They were up 5.2%. So this Magic just seems to have a lot of staying power. So I'm impressed with them. All right. You guys ready for the stocks?
Well, can we just pause for 1 second, Candace? Because
of course.
I want to ask specifically my friend Neil in the bottom square. Neil, I always have to, you're my litmus test on a lot of things because you are my guy that likes to have fun. And for me, all of these metaverse things sound like fun. And there's NFTs involved in them. There's games, there's racing. I can see horse racing going in one of those. Where is your head at as far as metaverse is concerned?
I haven't really picked because there's so many options. I've a lot of the ones that Candace was talking about, I'm interested in, but I've kind of stayed away because, especially for the land, like that's the most valuable thing, and it's super expensive to buy. And what if I bought something that wasn't successful long term? So I've been very tentative and stayed away there. So I really haven't touched the metaverse a lot, except for being involved with Vivi, and they're supposed to be doing a Viviverse, and that's where all their characters and stuff will be able to be interacting in that. But I haven't done a lot other than Zedrun in the kind of ecosystems like in the metaverse.
Yeah. Okay. Kevin Hanna said Microsoft bought out Blizzard Entertainment. I saw Kevin.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes, Kevin.
Okay.
Trust me.
All right, you go, Candace.
All right, let's get into the top 7 stocks. All right, number 7 is a brand new one. It's Take-Two Interactive Software. Now, one of the strongest plays in the video game industry. They have planned remasters of Grand Theft Auto, which is Vice City. They're actually looking right now to just do a re-release of GTA Vice City for the simple reason that they want to hold players over until they can get GTA 6 out. Now, here's the interesting thing. They already have in place all the fundamental blocks. When you take a look at GTA and if you take a look at Red Dead Redemption, for example, they already are using very big, large open world environments. So GT6 is going to be perfect for an inclusion into the metaverse, and Take-Two is seriously looking to move it in that direction. And as a result, I think people are starting to take notice of this company. They were up 7.73 on their ROI over the week. So they had a good week. All right. Number 6 is our second new one of the week. We've seen them before, but they're Microsoft. They were down 3.17%, but they got the bonus news part this week points I give. Now, here's the interesting thing. Microsoft has a huge amount of software that powers the back end of the metaverse. You know, everything from their server software to their Windows software, it's used like crazy. And they're starting to look at metaverse concepts that they can incorporate into this software. Microsoft is setting themselves up to make a massive play in the metaverse. Now, they also have Microsoft Dynamics 365. This is a connected spaces system, and it will enable companies to recreate work settings virtually, including factory floors, offices, more boardrooms, meeting places, for staff meetings, for everything you can think of. So they're really, really looking to dominate the office side of the metaverse as well. And in addition to that, they have just become the third largest game creator in the world with their intention to acquire Activision Blizzard. Now, obviously, it's going to take a year for this deal to finalize, but this is massive, and it's going to create a very big move towards their metaverse ambitions. They are trying to get all of their ducks in a row, and they're doing an insanely good job of it. Now, they were down 3.17%, but if you looked at Blizzard stock blew up, Activision Blizzard, because of this. So you're just going to see some incredible games that are going to come through the Microsoft side with the metaverse. That move probably has Facebook a little bit worried. So that's your number 6. All right, let's move on to number 5. Number 5 is Disney. They fell down from number 3. They're still going to be a big contender in the metaverse. They were down 2.77%. And I still would be very excited to meet Mickey Mouse myself if I was in the metaverse, or, any of the Marvel characters or things like that. That I think would be fantastic. Number 4, another newcomer, is Electronic Arts. They were down 2.77%, but they're still looking pretty good. They are actually looking now to monetize their core game. So they have this thing called FIFA. They have actually decided not to go for the branding on FIFA. They're letting that deal die. They'll have to rebrand it, but they want to look at monetizing their core football game with NFTs. And the CEO, Andrew Wilson, this is some quotes from him. He said, NFTs and play-to-earn games are the future of our industry. In addition to that, he said this. He said, I think that in the context of the games we create and the live services that we offer, collectible digital content is going to play a meaningful part in our future. So that's kind of where EA is looking. They're looking to make some big moves in the metaverse, both in the game area as well as collectibles. So they're going to be definitely a company to watch. All right. Number 3, falling down from number 2, is Qualcomm. We talked a lot about the fact that they make a lot of chips, and of course, Snapdragon. They're definitely going to be a big player. When we move to number 2, it was our number 1 pick last week, is Intel. Intel did fall down a little bit, losing 0.82% on their ROI. And Intel's still going to be a pretty big move. I mean, they're making the chips. They've got the idea with their deep link technology on how to increase that processor speed that we need to really see good developments within the metaverse. But let's take it to our new number 1. Our new number 1 was our number 7 last week, the Taiwan Semiconductor MFG. And they had an incredible week. They were up 7.06%. What more can we really say about them? They are developing the technologies that are needed for the metaverse. And that's what we need. I mean, right now we have a lot of games. You can see with when we did the coins, but we need the infrastructure. We need to get the metaverse working better. We don't want to have something that looks like a remake of the Sims game. And companies like this are going to be those who provide a lot of that technology that we need to make the metaverse look fantastic and make people want to spend their time in it.
Candace, can you go back to number 2?
I can, I think. Yeah.
That is where Theta would come into play. Right there.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because the Theta network wants to take part of your CPU and GPU and use it to render video buffering and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you if all the computers in the world were connected through Theta, and you could borrow space from somebody's hard drive, CPU power and GPU power, then they could accomplish it. So,
well, and here's another thing too. Once quantum computing starts hitting the markets, that's going to really change everything. You're going to see the impact on the metaverse once it's affordable to go with quantum computing. It's just going to be absolutely insane.
Right. See, T-Fuel is just spiked, and I don't know why, and nobody knows why. T-Fuel, the other token to Theta, has started to spike. So I just thought I'd mention it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can Candace just pronounce FIFA again?
FIFA.
FIFA.
You can tell Candace knows her biology, she knows her crypto, but she does not know her soccer. I was like,
Well-
FIFA. I was like, FIFA? What's for all FIFA?
That's
Yeah, there we go.
funny.
I don't play any sports.
No,
So-
it's okay.
Okay,
I
I
just,
have a
and Panda,
question.
Panda 2 is like FIFA.
I know it's funny. I have a question, and I'm not sure whether this is so you mentioned Take-Two, and that they're part of the Grand Theft Auto. Did anybody else hear about the fact that you remember Farmville? Farmville was the first sort of gaming thing that I remember when the kids were little. Apparently they're taking Farmville and they're doing a cross section with something like Grand Theft Auto, so that there will, in the farm, there's going to be people that will come in and steal your stuff. Like, I'm thinking to myself, we took a really nice children's game and now we're jacking it up and we're adding thieves in there and race cars that could destroy your crops. I'm like, what
It's not
is
race cars,
happening?
Nance. It's race cows.
We're just making it more interesting.
I
More
guess.
realism.
You
That's
know,
what it is.
you can play an old character and say, "You kids, get off my damn grass," and then fire
Yeah.
your buckshot.
You're making the blades stick together.
Well, and Kevin says this is going back to what happened with, it was Microsoft, right, that bought Activision.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
It
this has got World of Warcraft and the Diablo series and the Call of Duty games. Like, those were the biggest games that my son played for sure. I know those ones. So
Well, here's an interesting thing in regards to Blizzard and like World of Warcraft, for example. I didn't think you'd see World of Warcraft eventually enter into the metaverse until now. With what Microsoft is planning, I can actually see what World of Warcraft is a subscription model. So you play every month, you pay a certain amount every month to play. So that subscription, I think, will then get moved into the subscription for the Game Pass that they use on Microsoft. And I can see them actually looking to maybe put that into the metaverse now. It's, there's a lot of controversy going on in Activision Blizzard. They need to clean all that up first. But there's some really interesting potential here to see a lot of things, and not just Warcraft, but maybe even StarCraft, maybe even Diablo in the Megaverse. It's just, there's really, the sky's the limit. In addition to that, they've also got all the talent there of all the people who designed all this stuff who are on board. So, there could be some very interesting things coming out of that merger. And here's another interesting point. The day after Microsoft made this announcement, Sony's stock all of a sudden took a big tank.
which stock?
Sony.
Yeah.
Why would that be?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I mean, Sony also does games as well, but I'm not sure exactly why it would have responded so sharply, but it just did. And I just found that interesting.
Big thing with Activision and Microsoft with respect to obviously Activision, but the games that they're going to be acquiring through the Activision deal gives them some of the biggest titles in the world and the ability to make it exclusive to the Xbox, which is a Microsoft product. So the Sony PlayStation is going to lose access to some of the biggest games on the planet now. That was what I read for the dip. I was reading about that today, but the exclusivity of that deal is going to screw Sony big time.
Well, I obviously don't know as much as you guys do about all this stuff. So I could be, you guys can like call me out on this, but I was kind of listening to Kitty and their plans. And obviously for anyone who's following Kitty, they've got like all the NFT characters that they've bought NFTs of like the Bored Ape Yacht Club and stuff like this. And they're all going to be in the game, but they've also said soon, like, as long as you can get a hold of an NFT that is, I can't remember if it's like, it's got like basically some NFTs, if you buy it, you own the rights to that character. Like, it's personally yours. So those ones will be allowed to, you'll be able to create them as your own racer. So you won't just have to choose your own racer. You could actually go out, find your own NFT, turn them into a racer, etc. But they also said what they'll do is to create, like, because there's an 8% tax still for every time you buy, where you lose 8% of what you buy kind of thing. And it goes to the fees for the developers and stuff to continue the game. But soon they said eventually, like, new racetracks, like if they come out with a new racetrack, they'll, you know, I don't know if some company that we know, like Pepsi or something, wanted to be branded on it, they would sell off billboards and stuff as ways to make money too. I thought that's a really cool idea. I know that
it's funny though, Tim, because we don't realize it, but Grand Theft Auto was really our first real metaverse experience, man, because they used to sell billboard space in Grand Theft Auto.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And the radio stations in Grand Theft Auto, Flock of Seagulls was paid every time you listen to them on the video. Like, not every time, but obviously through the license agreement and stuff. But that was almost the first. We didn't really realize it, but we were being peppered with ads all day, every day you played that game, whether it's the radio station and the ads on the stupid radio in the stupid fake car, or the billboards or the Sprite sign at the bus stop. That game really nailed it from the get-go.
So, I mean, just think about it. They were almost a metaverse before they even knew what the metaverse was. Now with Grand Theft Auto 6, when that comes out, probably 2024, they're sort of guessing. That's going to be just even much more yanked in that direction. It'll be pretty awesome to see how that turns out.
I wonder if you'll be wearing the Oculus or the goggles to do get that game now, so you'll really feel like you're driving. We'll have to get Tim Danter to actually put that on and tell us if it's a real life experience or not.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I haven't heard, like, there's no specs yet because, I mean, it's still 2 years out. But if they're moving towards the metaverse, I wouldn't be surprised because that would be an incredible opportunity.
So let me ask the panel, because I know I'm really excited about the metaverse, and I'm not even a gamer, but it all sounds so cool to me. How's everybody else feel about the metaverse? Is it completely, like, I think Neil's already given us how he feels because he likes fun. He's all about the fun, Mr. Neil is. And so, Neil, I think you are check. I'm excited about the metaverse. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ken, is the metaverse frighten you or excite you?
Neither right now. Not until it gets into more development.
Okay.
I need
Tim
to see
Perry?
more.
Yeah. Frighten or exciting?
I honestly think that your bear plays. I think the bear play is the metaverse this year because it's going to be where basically if everybody is going to be staying inside and that this is the big, thing that you see that all these big companies are positioning in, then obviously that's where a lot of money is going to be made, right? So maybe I'm still bullish, and I'm not even in it anymore. But I'm bullish on cross-chain bridge too, because I still think being able to move money flawlessly across multiple platforms. How can you not think that that's going to be bullish? But I think metaverse play is probably going to be the number one play this year, and the bear proof kind of like. But once again, it's like pick well, right? So I sat my 12-year-old cousin the other day. After snowboarding, I sat him down and because we were talking about, because I told him about Kitty and he's going crazy. And actually, funny enough, I'm talking about crypto in the chair line to go up the chair lift. And some like huge dude, he was like 6'6", he was a giant. He starts talking about NFTs. He's like, NFTs don't really have value in this and that. And I turn around like, I totally agree with you. But what if you could do this with music, tickets and stuff? He's like, oh, total value in that. And all of a sudden, like there's a group of about 5 of us talking about NFTs. And when we finally got up on the chairlift with my cousin, I'm like, okay, this is really happening. Like I just had a random conversation where people interrupted me to like give me their 411, and I had thrown out gaming, but I sat with my 12-year-old cousin and I'm like, what do you think of this game? And he like Axie Infinity, boring, doesn't look that good, this and that. Kitty, and then another coin that I'm slowly DCAing into, but I don't know as much information, but it's called Weapon, Mega Weapon. And he was pretty pumped about that too, because it's played because Kitty and Weapon are both games that all of us right now could be like race. We could all be multiple player racing against each other and competing against each other, and he just seemed to be like he wanted to learn. Like he got he's 12 years old. He downloaded a MetaMask wallet, wanted to know how to buy Kitty. So I'm like, if it's attracting 12-year-olds, then they're gonna talk to their parents, and I don't know. And Weapon's the same deal. It's all these little like cartoon dudes going around trying to kill each other with like different weapons, I guess.
So crazy. Tim Danter, are you excited about the metaverse or frightened?
I think it's naturally just going to evolve into that. That's just our next thing.
Nope, that's not the question I asked. Answer the question, please.
What? What?
Excited or frightened?
Excited?
I don't think maybe he doesn't.
There
really-
you go.
I'm
There
neither.
you go.
I think Tim's like me. You need to see more to get some more excitement. or
Okay,
some
good,
disillusion.
Ken. Trying to smooth
What
out
he
the
said.
domestic waters. Good.
What he
good,
said.
Good
Well,
job.
I got your back, bro.
Excited for like making money with it, but frightened with the fact that one day some people won't leave their house.
Yep, there you
You
go.
know,
There's
that
that,
movie-
angle to
any-
it too.
You know, anyone
might
remember
not be a
Pixar
bad thing.
Wall-E? What's that?
Yeah.
That might not be a bad thing.
I think it's a horrible thing, but
You'll wear your pajama pants out.
it'll
really
be
quick,
like
though.
Wall-E.
Well, it's true. Rye.
I bought Microsoft stock today, and I let my channel members know. And my next buy, I'm surprised it's not on the list, but it's not as much a metaverse play, but I think it's a massive, massive gaming in general play. But my next, I'm going to say metaverse buy is going to be Roblox. But I bought
Nice.
Microsoft today.
Nice. Okay, so to kind of conclude the evening out, I kind of do want to still talk about okay, so we're saying that we think alt season is upon us. Would that be a fair statement? We've moved to alt season.
From what I've seen with different coins going up and down, I'd say yes. It looks like money's been pulled out of Bitcoin, put into ETH and Matic and whatnot, and it's chasing the different altcoins on these chains. So in my personal opinion, I'd say yes, we're into an alt season.
Okay, and just as an update, Tim Perry, your buddy Kyle K, has now entered the house, so you can bar with him, bar with him, whatever however you say that. Anyways, so if it's alt season, and a lot of people have been holding some coins since this time last year, since we first started doing all of this. Is there a plan to take some profits here? Like what's people's ideas at this point in time?
From
Well,
everything
nobody's
I've already
planning
told so
anything.
far, I'm just gonna hold for now. I'm starting like I did just add to my bag of OMI last week, so I'm happy there. I didn't buy any kitty, Tim, but I've already got a nice bag there. But I added OMI and the app especially is on fire right now. Things are just popping off. The prices are insane, and now the coin's running too. So it might be getting close to the last chance to get it before it's a cent.
I know. I've thought today. I was talking to Mark Lazarick about OMI today, and I was like, I really would like a little bit more OMI.
I'm
My only
extremely
like
bullish, extremely bullish on it. Like
just
the
how
app is,
how high can that? Sorry,
well,
go ahead.
I've seen some hopium of $10 in 10 years and that, but I think the sky's the limit. And the way that they are onboarding users and getting traffic and like everything that's happening, the app's still in beta and all of this is happening. I think it could just go bananas. Like, and when it goes, it's going to go. I just think if they announce Pokemon, where do you think everyone's going to do? Right? Like, I just think if you're not invested in it, you should definitely start taking a look because I think it's going to go. It's already started pumping.
It will go through the biggest dump of life, though, because they've prolonged you holding gems so goddamn long, and the floor price has gone up so damn much that when the integration happens, buddy, the liquidation, like that's the only thing I'm going to have OMI for is to ride the pump, sell before the dump, and then buy back in again. But for me, like I can't even see Neil's face anymore. But for me, I was going to say like Neil, how long term are you? Because I could just see the biggest pump and dump known to man, only because they screwed us a bit by not allowing integration earlier.
Well, you got to look at it this way. Us as a group, we've been waiting 1 year for OMI to pump now. So
okay, but now it scares me like crazy. When it is going to pump, we're going to see that insane sell-off because people bought $7 comics that are worth 10 grand. So they're going to try and sell it for 8. They'll probably get 3 by the time the sell, maybe even a couple $100 by the time the sell-off really happens, right? Like floor prices don't mean shit if it's not actually, you have no ability to pull out in fiat yet, right? Or even convert to OMI. So like the floor price thing is wicked, but that all it does is inflate the collectors for the moment that they choose to sell at integration, right?
Yeah,
that's my only thing is like
when they can pull out using OMI. Oh yeah,
it's done. Well, not done, but it's going to go fucking. Yeah, why wouldn't it? Yeah, I would. I'd sell everything I had.
Yeah, but see, you're going to see a huge dump, but at the same time, now you've got back and forth traffic in and out now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like I said, this is going to be a nice up and down potential.
We're going to have that dump.
I just did the market cap.
Thing you're all forgetting though is that they are onboarding fiat, not with any kind of inhibiting. Like you would just go onto Google Play and put it on your credit card.
I know, but that's because it's not a true NFT.
Yeah, but if one of the things I want to do with all the money that I'm accumulating right now is I want to buy more OMI with the gems. So if other people are thinking that because it's still under a cent, like that's part of my big play. And I think that there's a lot of interest.
But you got to remember, a lot of people that are in VV have no freaking clue about OMI whatsoever, right? So other than the fact that they know now that's a way that they will be able to get their funds out.
No. Well, hold on. The nice thing is if they can do OMI integration on the app before OMI is picked up by some of the bigger exchanges, then we're good because then the experienced people will have time to sell before the average person does the KYC on the exchanges and sells it themselves. So so if you know what you're doing, you'll have an opportunity to see what's coming immediately because you'll see sell orders start popping, right? But there's no way to fill shit. You'll see it start trickling. So for me, it's like buy here, sell here, buy right here because that triangle is totally going to happen. And then ride OMI on a long term to the fucking moon because like that. I'm so bullish on OMI. It's not even funny.
First.
Sorry, Tim?
Oh, sorry. I have no idea who's talking or what. I'm by no means, I'm like very bullish about OMI. Like I'm loving the comics and stuff, but just to like kind of give a healthy dose. I do it with Kitty too. Like as Kyle knows, like all I do is figure out market cap. Obviously $10 is insane hopium and no one's believing that. But like at $10, I just did the math. You're looking at a $1.8 quadrillion market cap, evaluation. You're only at 2 trillion for crypto altogether right now, right?
I know, but I thought those coins were. I thought they were burning those tokens.
They are burning them
for sure, but not at the speed that you're going to get there right now. It'll take a couple years. I'm not saying that in long term you won't get there, but they're also emitting so many coins, right? So they're about what, 200 billion? Does anyone know the actual market cap right now? Or the coin circ? It's like 100. I did 180 billion.
I'm telling you straight up, I cannot imagine OMI getting over 3 to 5 cents in the next year. Tops.
Yeah, I said 20 cents tops with Pokemon.
Oh, with Pokemon, okay. With Pokemon, for sure. That would drive an insane amount of traffic. Yeah. But yeah,
did you guys read anything about the silent? So one thing about VV that they do have is they do have constant communication with Apple, and there is a lot of talk about Apple actually merging or engulfing OMI.
Oh my goodness! Can you imagine that?
So Tim, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm not saying it's going to get to 10 cents, 20 cents. I've always been more of a fundamentals guy. If you see what's happening on the app, the traffic, the new users, the fresh funds, I think it's definitely going to go in good places, whether that's 5 cents or 10 cents. I'm hoping for 5, but I'm not really worried about it this year. This is much more of a long-term play. I don't think you're ever going to see OMI at 1 cent in the future, though. So,
you mean $1?
No, I mean 1 cent, like where you can accumulate it now. It's less than a penny right now. Right. So what I'm saying is now 10 months, 2 months, I think this is a good time, not financial advice. Hit the subscribe button. But I think it's a good time to look at OMI. And I don't care what you guys want to say. I've already heard it. I've moved on to like this is just there's too many check marks for this. For you,
no,
not
only
to think
at
it's
5
going.
cents is a matter of if, not when.
Yeah,
but at the
and
same
that's-
time, you know, like I love Kitty, but I'll be the first. You know, I've seen some stuff, and it's like, no, market cap wise, no tops for Kitty. Tops, I would say 2 to 3 cents. By the way, that the coin circulation and everything. I mean, you can be as bullish as you want about a coin, but if you got to pump a coin 200 billion things, which let's face it though, it can. Look at Doge. Doge is even more, so it could go to $1. You know, God knows what Doge's at.
One thing I will say,
but I'm being, you know.
One thing I will say is that you guys know I'm not really a altcoin guy or whatever. I am going to be buying a ton of VV as much as I possibly can, but it's definitely to take advantage of the short-term pump and dump. But I think even if I miss it, I'm long-term. I can't see. To me, it's almost like investing in a stock because of the real-world licensing agreements, and it's almost at that point. It's more like a stock to me than it is a crypto, almost because one, there's no transmissibility on the blockchain. Like again, it's more fiat-based right now, right? So I'm like able to wrap my head around this significantly more. Again, real world licensing agreements. When you have integration, it's going to throw some stuff up, but it's also going to make everything we have a little bit. Look, Neil, I'm super bullish long term. All I know is that I'm playing the game. When it gets integrated, bro, and I'm allowed to sell from Gate.io, I'm fucking selling. And I'm going to rebuy. But long term, you're totally bang on, dude. This hits. For a guy who's skeptical as hell, this hits almost everything for a high risk altcoin, in my opinion. Like truly, but
yeah. And there are definitely OMI whales out there. So there has been and can still be price suppression and manipulation for sure. But I just think long term, it's one of the things I feel the most safe on, and it's why. And it's funny because it's like the one that got me the most excited about crypto. And then I got all frustrated because it, you know, Tim was telling me it's at the top, sell, and it just went. And then I got frustrated with the app because I was struggling, and then I came back to it, and I love this product. And if you know things change and you know the numbers decrease, less users, you know, and all that, but I just really think it's a really good long-term bet. And considering that, like I got in. Was invested in the crash happened. I'm very happy to put it in OMI right now. And then I've got my other NFT plays, but I actually almost sold, but I'm still farming some root and define. But I'm almost exclusively NFTs now. I minted some more wizards. So I've got 15 now. The mint is sold out and the floor is at mint. And there's 90% are staked. So for the vaults and what they've invested, there's been they invested, I believe it was like 35 ETH into NFT collections for their vaults, and now it's the floor value is 53 ETH. So before the minting was even completed, I'm earning orbs in that, and they're already demonstrating some pretty good knowledge. So I'm pretty excited about that project.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then one for actually Ryan to check out. It's called the Bison Project. And what it is, you buy an NFT to be part of the herd share. And what it is they pay out quarterly to their NFT holders, and that's profits. So it's actually what they've said. It's one that I've been looking at more and more. Is its exposure to the crypto market through NFTs. So if anyone wants to check out something, they're minting on Sunday. And they're $80 an NFT, 80. It's called Bison Project, so I'd check that one out. I'm gonna mint one or two. We'll see.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
If only needs 8 billion market cap for 3 cents, then I could see it going way higher than 3 cents.
It would actually be less because remember they are burning tokens.
the rate that they're burning tokens,
That's-
though, what's the rate?
Yeah,
that
they're pretty slow at it, but that's the
Yeah.
thing with these small caps is all of them have some kind of a burn integrated
And
into them now.
Long term,
that
it
makes-
will be.
That makes a
Yeah.
3 to 5 year project for you to hold. That's what I am noticing with the trends. It's kind of they're everybody's like, why the hell did they make 100 quadrillion
it's smart
coins?
though, because
It's
they're
to make a
forcing
3 to
bag
5.
holders
Yeah, it's
to ensure the
forcing a 3 to
longevity of
5
their
year
project.
hold.
That's kind of smart. Although it's
It
going
is
to piss off
Well,
a lot
also,
It is
also
but
keeps the
people that
price down.
don't know. Exactly. Yeah.
it'll
Because
also
all the
shake-
kids want the cheapest coin that they can get into.
Yeah, I was just going to say it'll shake out. It'll bring
I
in the
did.
tourists, and the tourists will die off, and then so I guess the bulls will be able to make the money. But yeah, that's kind of sweet actually, if that's what pattern you're noticing.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping for my Dez airdrop, so I have some fresh funds for more NFTs.
Oh, there you go. That's
Maybe
awesome.
some more. Actually, could I ask for a little bit of a quick update on Satama from our Oracle?
They're waiting for version 1.7 on Android to come out, and that should fix everything.
Okay.
That's what I'm hearing. I can get into the wallet and everything on my phone. I'm on version 1.6.
Okay.
So
That's awesome. Any other big news, Ken, on your meme coin front?
What's the
nope.
shaman doing?
It's at 1,300 right now. Let's say the mask, man. It is sweet, I tell you. I'm just noticing all my coins are going down right now, and that's because ETH is down. If ETH came up another $500 to $1,000 per ETH, I would be flying high again. So it's the downside. Everything's determined about ETH for my tokens, not Bitcoin. So
interesting. And Tim Perry, how are all your coins doing?
I mean, I was in Matic, obviously had a little pump. Now it's back to where I bought it. So, because basically I'd sold, I still have a lot of DeFi invested because it was like a vested farming where you get it after so many months. So I still got some DeFi in there, but basically got a little USDC and then just Kitty. And just DCAing anytime I see Kitty go down to a decent price, and then DCAing into this weapon. And I don't think I'm going to go anywhere else. I'm going to use Matic as my hedge, and then I'll use the little Metaverse coins that I think are going to run for the next bit. And if I see a pivot, then I'll pivot. But for now, I think Metaverse and small cap coins are going to be the play for the next couple months as Bitcoin. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin going down to 38K. If it breaks 38K lower, then I'll start panicking though.
I don't even think I'm going to start panicking till I see 25K, bud. I'd be willing to bet we're going to see Bitcoin in 20s. I don't know why we wouldn't. Like, I have no idea why we wouldn't, because it's the first place we're all going to go for our money.
Possible.
When we need
I'm just talking about how the market will react below 38K. I think I basically think that. Well, I just want to get out like that the alt season that I'm thinking is coming. I don't think it's obviously going to be very selective. I don't think the top coins are going to pump as much. I think they've had their day for so long. So I'm expecting, within the next couple of weeks, invalidated in the first week, second week, going into the second week of February, I would start being worried about all my shit. But I'm also not looking long term. I like to preserve my money. So look into your own strategies. I'm just saying that's how I play it.
I 100% agree with you, because in the short term, if I was thinking short term, even some of the stocks that I own, I wouldn't own it. But I'm thinking just purely long term here. I know that I got a winner on my hands with X, Y, and Z. But I 100% agree.
Right.
My money's not being spent right now for a reason on the crypto side. It just isn't. What's the point? And if we see 38, we're not going to stop at 38 because that'll be so devastating underneath 40 grand. We'll go right down to 32 to 34. We'll go right in that zone, that mid 30s, and drip to 32. And then the next scare phase, will be the fact that this will happen right around the times that the Fed will increase rates in the States. I really do believe that we're going to see high 20s. I'm saving money because I want to buy myself an ETH for cheap, and I want to buy myself a half a Bitcoin for cheap or whatever. But I 100% agree with you. I'm not trying to time the market, but I think it's pretty freaking obvious that everything's collapsing right now. So I'm just going to wait for it to keep going and going and going and going. And if it is alt season, it means that all the money from friggin' Bitcoin is going to be leaving Bitcoin for alts because the growth is going to be there. I'm not saying with the hodlers, but the Bitcoin tourists, they're going to pull their money out of Bitcoin because it's not making them anything. And they're going to put it into some BS that might pump and dump. Like, it's just, we're going to lose a lot of money, or people, I should say the market's going to lose a lot of money short term.
Well, I
if
always
you're
check
in
3
good
things
project-
and like,
Go ahead, Tim.
if you're in good projects.
Well,
No, go ahead.
If you're in good projects, like we've got some polka dot, like Candace's t-shirt. We got, you know, some good projects that we're sitting in, like that I'm not really worried are going to disappear. Like if you're not happy with where the coin dollar, like the coin numbers go, and you're okay to sit, would you not do that?
If you're good to do
that's
that,
that's your game plan, right?
Yeah.
I would rather, you know, if I feel like, and it's all about everyone, and I'm not perfect with it, as nobody is, even if you're trading, swing trading, whatever it is, the plan. But if I can see the train wreck coming down, you know, the rails, why wouldn't I get off that train for a bit, you know, and then buy more, you know?
Nancy, in his case, he's talking about potentially selling off and then rebuying back in. In your case, Nancy, hold. I know for the stock side of things, I'm holding because I'm long term. But are you really intent on buying a hell of a lot more Bitcoin right now?
No.
Like, okay, so that's just it. So you're not confident putting new money into the market either, right? So, and you're a Bitcoin holder. You're borderline maxi when we started this. So, like, the only people I know putting money into the market right now is probably Len and Joe that I know of. And I mean, seriously, into Bitcoin on a consistent, hardcore basis. So it's like, you're not willing to buy more Bitcoin. The tourists,
other than our dollar cost average challenge.
Yeah, sure. But you're not going to put any real money into Bitcoin.
No,
and the tourists aren't going to put any money into Bitcoin. They're going to put it into the NFTs that are exploding. That's why Google Trends are showing the traffic move there. So it's not that, it's just that it might not be the best buy opportunity because money is shifting. I mean, it's not like it's bad to hold it long term, but you're a bagger until the next cycle, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing. You're just a bagger. So the problem is, though, crypto winters last from 2 to 3+ years, if history repeats itself. So what can you make in 2 to 3 years if you were positioning that cash elsewhere? Damn hope Bitcoin more than doubles, or else it would have been dumb to hold it in Bitcoin versus playing some of the market and either some of these stock plays in the metaverse. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're weighing options now where Bitcoin isn't performing like it was when we started this channel. And it was illogical to question, oh, why? It's been up a bajillion percent. Well, I got stocks in my portfolio now that outperform Bitcoin on a yearly basis, right? Because it really didn't do that well in the end of the year. So it's one of those things where you got to pick the project, you got to buy into it. And if you're sticking with Bitcoin for the next decade, then fuck it. But at the end of the day, I mean, you might very well have the S&P outperform Bitcoin during a year. You might very well have Bitcoin pull another cycle, but it's a speculative asset class. I think you're in a unique position, though, because your buy-in point is such that I would never touch it. You know what I mean? Like me personally, I would never touch your buy point because it's just
when the dust settles. If you're still a 3 or 4x on it, don't touch it.
That's what I mean. And I don't want to get into like pricing, but I would keep the buy point because your cost basis is pretty nice, and also you're talking about a fucked up taxable event if you sell. Yeah. So like for you, your best bet probably is to hold. But but I like how you said though, because you're thinking, you know, are we all forgetting Bitcoin? No, but not even you are going to buy Bitcoin right now.
No, and I'm not even talking about, I'm talking about any of it. Like, what if, just say, I'm going to put Candace on the hot seat here. Just say, because we've got some Polkadot and we believe in that project, but Polkadot, I was going to say Pocahontas, but that wasn't right. But Polkadot doesn't do what you think it should do. But then you know that the alt season's coming to an end. Do you divest yourself, or do you know it's a great project, so you're just going to hold it and let it run? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, we all talk about everybody do your own research. So people got into a whole pile of projects. sometimes because we've been talking about it and sometimes because they've been doing their own research. At what point, and I don't think we spend enough time on it, about talking about, okay, when is it time to pull out? And is there a good strategy versus a not good strategy? So I'm going to ask Candace that question. Polkadot, you knew that the alt season was ending. Are you going to stay in the project? Divest yourself? What does that look like?
Okay. I mean, here's the thing about Polkadot. Polkadot, because of the functionality of Polkadot, most people don't understand the functionality, which I think is why it's undervalued at the moment. So for me, it's a coin that I would rather hold my money in than Bitcoin. And you hold it in, you're staking, you're getting a 12% return on it. So you're growing your amount of Polkadot. Once people finally grasp how important Polkadot is to the entire crypto ecosystem, it's going to explode. I'm confident of that, and I'm willing to stake myself on that for 12%. And what's going to happen is when it does explode, that core money that's sitting in there is going to make a lot of extra money, and all of that staking interest, which is being compounded twice a week as you get paid out every two times every week, that's just going to all snowball into something pretty huge. So I'm 100% confident in Polkadot. And I'm even willing to brand myself with it.
You mean like you have tonight?
Yeah, on my sweatshirt.
There you go.
Well, hoodie.
There you go.
Candace, I was just listening to you. I had a question really quick because Nancy, you were talking about it. I'm not a big altcoin buyer. Just getting into it, but all you guys are big altcoin buyers and stuff like that. This is just my opinion, okay, as someone outside of the space, but if you're buying a coin for the sole, and the fact that it's alt season even factors into that purchase, you're day trading, you're swing trading, and it's a short-term BS. So it's like, my question is, should you buy a coin if part of the buying process is you thinking about altcoin season? Because then you're saying the season is going to supplement the fact that this project is not a 10 out of 10, right? Because you should only be investing in 10 out of 10s, where then the altcoin season's a bonus and the rest of it's par for the course. Whereas instead, some people are buying into 5 out of 10s and using that altcoin season to fill in some space and make it seem like a good opportunity. I'm just wondering, actually, now a question. Well, actually, Candace, what do you think about that?
Let me,
hold on.
yeah,
I'm stepping away from the camera, but I can still hear you. Keep going.
Sure, absolutely. When it comes to alt season, I don't care. I really don't care about alt season. What motivated me with Polkadot is, as I initially was very bullish on Bitcoin, and then I started looking into alts, and Polkadot, I was like, okay, yeah, it's got a cute name, but what does it do? But as I learned more and more about what it does, and being able to draw a complete correlation between Polkadot and TCP/IP in the tech world, it brought to me a great insight into what its functionality is. And I'm bullish on its functionality. I really don't care about alt season. I just see it as a nice, good long-term hold that will bring value. And I don't mind the fact that I can stake it too. And I think it's one of these coins that has a 0% chance of disappearing if we go into a bear season, so into a bear market. So I'm completely confident on the coin. So this is more of a fundamental thing. As for alt season, I really don't care whether it's alt season or not.
I'll be honest. Candace, tell me if you think I'm crazy. I'm starting to actually, every time I hear the phrase alt season, I'm starting to tune out entirely. I don't know. We've started this channel a year ago, and we've heard alt season 2 or 3 times now, at least twice. So it's like, for me, watching from the outside, not being in alts, realizing what's actually like, I mean, is alt season just a pump and dump moment in time? Like,
I'm beginning
just a musical chairs.
Yeah. I think I'm beginning to think we're not actually seeing an alt season. Maybe you could make an argument that we're seeing a meta season, but it's hard to say. And maybe the memes have been pumping and dumping forever, even when Bitcoin was doing well. So I wouldn't really say that there's any difference now. So I wouldn't say that we're in the alt season as what a lot of people in the altcoins like to call it. Meta season, sure, you could argue that just because of the popularity ever since Facebook rebranded to Meta. There's all of that hype and the fact that everybody's moving in that direction. There's going to be continued hype on it. But when it comes to long-term investing, I wouldn't even look at the metaverse as being something that I would want to drop into a coin long-term. I always look for that functionality. I look for something that's going to be around for a while because I tend to be a little on the conservative side when it comes to my bigger investments.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just so we're clear, I don't think this is alt season. This is not even close to being alt season.
I don't think you. Yeah, I didn't take it that way.
Okay, yeah, I won't consider alts to start running well until we see that Bitcoin dominance drop to at least 36%, because it's still hanging at that resistance, which is about 40%.
Yeah.
So until it fully drops that significantly, that's when the alts will react. Now, I'm not saying it's like if anyone is from 2017 and actually, like, I know Ken's been around longer than me, but when I was in 2017 in December, on that first page of CoinGecko, imagine going on there and not one single coin out of that 100 was not up six figures in green. That's what that alt season was like. Now, you're not going to see anything like that ever again. So I'm not saying all your coins are going to pump like that. I don't want people to think that alt season. What I mean by alt season is just that Bitcoin, looking as crappy as it does right now, will not affect alts as much, allowing them to make traction.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're going to go to the moon. I'm not thinking you're going to get $1 million richer or anything off one coin. That's not what I mean by alt season. I just mean it allows room for alts to breathe and maybe get some traction on Bitcoin as Bitcoin comes back down. Because if the dominance goes back up, then you're going to want to be, wherever you want to be. I don't know.
And can I mention this too? Because I know Nancy was probably thinking about winding this down a few minutes ago, but maybe this is just one of my last things here. Notice how we don't hear shit about a spot Bitcoin ETF anymore, but we do hear about multi-billionaires getting into DeFi, getting into Ethereum, getting into NF. There's no pressure for this Bitcoin ETF anymore. And yet again, all the businesses opening up are flooding cash onto the ETH side of things or Solana side on NFTs. And it's like, I'm not going to bring up flippening and this and that, but for the people who think the SEC is going to approve a spot price, bringing that money into Bitcoin that they're all looking for in 2022, what's the urgency? Because there's nobody knocking on their door right now for that. They're knocking on their door for updated DeFi policy, just like Kevin O'Leary did here in Canada and now trying to do in the United States even more aggressively. Like, why? This is, to me, I can't wait till Bitcoin hits 20 G's, because I swear to gosh, it'll be the only chance I get in my life to buy one Bitcoin. And I don't care. I'll lose the whole 20 grand, 25 grand. I don't care. But I know it's coming down because these other projects are too damn strong. They're almost more adopted and more accepted than Bitcoin, as crazy as that sounds. And it's almost because capitalism and Wall Street realizes that there's more money to be made with ETH. Simple as that. So therefore, Bitcoin dies a painful, slow death. And it's just a fact. Now, it might be a store of value now and turn into a boring asset class like gold where you can borrow against it, but that's it. So at the end of the day, though, where are the people with the money going? Billions and billions, everyone. Okay, we got the occasional billionaire loading up on Bitcoin. Sure, they're buying it. But where are they opening shop? Who's hiring employees and based off of what? More employees are working today based off the Ethereum blockchain and idea than Bitcoin. It's a fact. So you've got projects all day, every day exploding across North America, Europe. And what does Bitcoin have? It has fucking Jack Mallers and Lightning. Seriously, because that's it. That's all you have.
Lightning's a game changer.
Oh, then that's why so many people use it, right? Like, it's not a game changer, dude. It's
never been a huge.
Oh, okay.
But I mean,
Bitcoin maxi on me there.
Well, that's why I think
Sorry.
alt seasons now, we actually don't have to
joke.
look at Bitcoin. We should look more at Ethereum when it comes to an alt
I
season.
100% agree.
And but the cool part is even ETH dominance is dropping. They're both dropping, which means it's going more into like dispersing into other alts, which is even better. Don't get me wrong. Ken's totally right. You want to watch ETH more. But the fact that even ETH is going down is good news just for other alts, because you don't want ETH to also just suck up and all of a sudden you're dependent on ETH either. right? But I mean, both Kyle and Soraya said something that basically play into each other, right? It's selective trends that pump the recycled money. And that's all that you're seeing right now. Because if you wake up every day, you check the price of Bitcoin, you check the dominance, and you check the market cap. And the market cap doesn't change much, but the dominance drops and some alts get some love. So you know it's just musical chairs right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I say we're only going to get an alt season if the money just flows somewhere else. And then you know it's going to slingshot back elsewhere. So it's like, do you really want, yes, if you're in a polka dot like Candace, she's dead right. You don't have to really worry about it. And you can ride it out and not be worried. But in something like Kitty, like I've got all my exit points ready. I've got which market cap, where I'm going. I bought excessive Kitty to sell out at like a 2x. So I have this and like I've got it all ready and I'm going by plan because every time I go by plan, I do better. And then Soraya, I mean, if you were in a layer 1 last year, other than unfortunately, which I chose Matic a little too late. But if you were in FTM, I mean, FTM went from tenths of a pennies to 3 something, right? Like
Phantom has
Harmony.
been one of the Phantom and At have been absolutely
Avalanche,
the DeFi space. DeFi.
Well, no, DeFi got killed. Like if we're talking, I don't call layer 1s the same as DeFi. I would put them separate because DeFi is Aave, which is a juggernaut, but Aave got absolutely smashed all year. Curve, all those like synthetics or synthetics, however you want to pronounce it. But like, yeah, Solana, all those layer 1s absolutely made people millionaires if you had entered, and then there was an NFT season that, when we first got into this program, NFTs were going nuts and we were talking about DeFi, and then DeFi had its 2020 year thing. So we've got to start.
Are you talking about define or like
DeFi? Sorry, DeFi. I don't know if I think I just said define right there. So you're right.
No, sorry. So you think decentralized finance is dead?
No, I think all the things, I think NFTs, everything is alive and well. But I think NFTs, if we're talking just like JPEG formats, are more of a bubble than any of the other things we're talking about. But like things like Vivi and stuff, I think are here to stay. Absolutely. With their branding, you say it. Like I'm super bullish on Omi and Vivi. But obviously some NFTs will have to come down. You can't have a price of a picture of a rock at $500,000 and say that this makes any sense whatsoever. Right?
Well, you know how you're talking about CryptoPunks dropping, right? You know where all the money went, right?
Probably the crypto apes or whatever.
No,
I don't know.
It went to Crypto Skulls, which is the second ever minted NFT. And our friend Jay, who's been on the show a couple times, holds 2 of them. And I was messaging him saying, what the hell is this? Did this go up 1,000,000%? He's been like, it's been one crazy week.
Good for him.
All those people that sold their punks, or some of them, actually bought the Crypto Skulls, and they're the second ever.
That was Jason, right?
After. Yeah. So he's had quite an interesting 10 days.
So they're essentially what they're doing is they're doing the same thing with crypto as they're doing with NFTs now. They're just
moving it.
Musical chairing.
It's because Gary V brought up how much he liked them, this and that, and then bought a couple and shared that, and people went crazy.
Gary V, man, has you know what's funny about Gary V? He's like a perfect salesperson where sometimes the pitch works and I'm like, I'm hooked. I got to listen to everything this guy says. And then sometimes he opens his mouth and he's like, oh, you're an idiot for not owning an NFT crypto. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like he's either the most punchable human on the planet or someone you want to have a beer with. There's no in between with that Gary guy.
Well, there's always like
his lead.
There's always a John McAfee, like John McAfee in the alt run of 2017, man. That guy would just do one little tweet about something and the coin would go nuts. Like how stupid the alt run was in 2017, 2018. If you like just said that you had a white paper out, your coin did a 10x. We got a new website, absolutely gangbusters. Like it was so stupid. And that's why I laugh, because it was all hype and all ideas. And now here we are with like fully functional farming, NFTs that can do these cool things and bring value to stuff and all this. And the market keeps tanking. And it's just like, I didn't think we would be here, to be honest, but like the charts and the global economy and everything, I guess you just got to take it with what it is. And people's fear too.
Yeah, the fear chart. But anyways, there's a lot of people that say that this is now the time when, if you can get through this time, then on the other side of this is where the money is made, is in this time when you're sitting and not much is happening and the fear is high.
I mean, it's everyone's opinion. I'm not super bullish on crypto 10 years from now, right? Like we know my stance on that. So
Yeah.
if that's your stance, though, stick to it. I mean, I've been wrong all year about everything, so doesn't mean I'm going to be right. But for me, this is just an exit strategy.
Can I say this? And our rate of growth with technology is too huge for Bitcoin to be the answer. So I therefore know Bitcoin's not the answer. Like it cannot be the answer. It's too simplified. It doesn't work. There are not enough Satoshis, and that's why we need bonds. And that was figured out within 2 seconds of a country adopting it. Okay, so Bitcoin's obviously not the answer. I think Bitcoin might be a speculative asset class I can rock and roll with, but that's just my gut, man. I'm on your side with this.
Yeah, to me, it's a good, like, it started the rebellion / the trend.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't think it's going to be the be all end all with the technology.
There's
that's
only
going to come
21
around.
million, and therefore the rest of humanity forever is what only going to fuck with Bitcoin.
But you still have plenty of time to stack sats, but hopefully get into real world assets. You know, buy your land, buy your silver, buy your gold, and you'll be good. Like I definitely don't think that it's the end by any means. There will be an absolute, 2025, I'd say 250, 300,000 Bitcoin for sure. 2025.
Yeah. Well, on that note, it's time to start to wrap us up. So let's just do a quick round table. Candace, what you got going on the Financial Brew this week?
Well, tomorrow by request, somebody wanted me to do the cost-based averaging thing again. So I'm going to be doing that with a good demonstration showing you how to set it up in Excel. Then on Saturday on the live stream, we got Journey over there. We're going to be talking nothing but comic books and VV. So you better watch it before it disappears.
Nice.
That's funny. That's funny. Love it. Ken, what you got going on your show?
I'm not sure. Friday night on the freaking Oracle show. You never know. We could have all you guys on there. We could have we could have Andrew. We could have Nay. We could have my brother. We could have my brother-in-law.
It's funny because Andrew is turning into a quasi-celeb. Everybody wants him at all times.
Oh, yeah. As soon as I fire up the broadcast, they're like, hey, where's Andrew?
Is Andrew going to show all of himself again? If I'd known that was on the table, man, maybe I would have stayed up until 2 a.m.
Wait, what you're saying is I got off the...
We go talk about it on the after show.
At the right time.
Yeah. Anyways, tune in. You never know what the hell's going to go on my channel.
Never, ever know. No. That's funny. Ryan?
I'm going to tell my crew, I already sent out notices today on the channel members, yada, yada, yada. I've been out for what will be coming on 10 days now. And the problem is I'm pre-making videos, but by the time I'm finishing editing them, and I'm still feeling sick, the information's irrelevant. So I've had to redo the same video twice now. So I've decided I'm not going to bother filming until you're not going to see a video from me until next Monday. Okay. I'm going to try and do market close tomorrow, but if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. So I'm sure you guys could tell I'm even talking differently tonight, a little bit more tapered down. I just need to get back on my feet, so to speak, and I get over this little cold. That's the name of the game for the weekend. And then by Monday, I got to get back to work, whether I like it or not. But I got the weekend. So that's the deal.
Nice. Tim Perry, you doing a lot of skiing?
Yeah, just snowboard. Wake up every morning. Always strike out on a VV drop.
Me too, man.
Dust myself off. Go snowboarding.
I love it. And Neil?
Doing my traditional job the rest of the week. I do my VV drop. I hit on Monday and I haven't hit since. Just gonna do some more research on that and look into that Bison project a little bit more because they mint on Sunday, and I'm just the cool thing is they're actually on the Polygon side, so it's Matic, so it's wrapped ETH, so it's like gasless, so that's kind of nice. So I'm probably gonna mint a couple of those, but just rearrange things, see how much I want to do. It's very early, very new, very small project, so take a chance, hold it for a year or two. We'll see where it goes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate your time once again on Crypto Night in Canada, and to all the amazing folks that were watching and participating. Everybody was really chatty tonight. It was great. It was really great stuff. And I hope everybody has safe week. Make sure you stock up on a few things. Don't hoard. Everybody needs a little something. And we'll talk to you next week.
Hit the subscribe button
everybody.
down there.
And make sure you share